Chapter 20, Part 4. The Father is the Gardener. Part 4 brings the whole picture together. In Part 1, we saw Eden like a womb. Mankind was naked and not ashamed because innocence had no self-conscious separation from the Father. In Part 2, the serpent introduced suspicion, and nakedness became exposure. Part 3, mankind entered the bondage of choice, not true freedom, but the exhausting burden of trying to govern life from the flesh. Now Part 4 shows the answer. The answer is not man becoming his own gardener. The answer is the Father. Jesus says in John 15, 1-2, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. The word husbandman means vine dresser, gardener, cultivator. In Greek it is Georgios, from gi, meaning earth or soil, and ergon, meaning work. The Father is the one working the soil. He is not distant from the garden. He is not observing the branch from far away. He is involved. He touches. He tends. He removes. He trains. He cultivates. That matters, because after Eden, man's first instinct is to cover himself. Adam and Eve ate from the tree. Their eyes were opened, and immediately they tried to manage exposure by their own hands. Genesis 3, verse 7 says, They sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. That is the flesh's first religion. Cover yourself, manage yourself, prove yourself, fix yourself, hide yourself. But Jesus does not say, You are the vine, and you must prune yourself. He says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. That means the Father is not asking the branch to become the gardener. He is asking the branch to abide in the Son. John 15, verse 4-5. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing. The word abide is meno. It means to remain, continue, stay, dwell. It is not panic. It is not performance. It is not self-rescue. It is remaining in the life of another. The branch does not produce life by effort. The branch bears fruit by union. That is why this chapter matters so much, because the flesh hears fruit and immediately turns it into pressure. It says, produce or you are rejected, perform or you are cut off, prove your salvation, prove your worth, prove your identity. But Jesus says fruit comes from abiding. The order is everything. The Father plants, the Son gives life, the branch abides, the Spirit produces fruit. The Father prunes, the branch bears more fruit. The flesh reverses the order. It says, produce fruit so you can belong. But Christ says, abide because you already belong to the vine. This is why pruning is not rejection. Jesus says every branch that bears fruit, the Father purgeth it. The Greek word is kathero, meaning to cleanse, clear, or prune. It carries the idea of making clean. So the Father's pruning is not hatred. It is abandonment. It is not proof that he is angry with the branch. Pruning is proof that the Father sees life there. A dead branch is not pruned for fruitfulness. A living branch is pruned because there is more life to reveal. The pruning is the preparation. The Father is not cutting because he sees no future in the branch. He is cutting because he sees the fruit that is coming. The pruning prepares the branch for what it could not carry before. It prepares the Son for clearer trust. It prepares the heart to stop identifying with corruption. It prepares the true self to be revealed without the flesh covering it. That is the difference between punishment and cultivation. The flesh interprets every cut as condemnation. The Son begins to recognize correction as love. Hebrews 12, verse 5-6 says, My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he received. The word chastening is paideia. It means training, instruction, child rearing, discipline. It is not random punishment. It is fatherly formation. The Father is not abusing the branch. He is training the Son. Hebrews 12, 10-11 says, For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. There it is again, fruit. The Father's correction yields fruit. not because the flesh finally became holy, but because the Father removed what was blocking the life of the Son from being seen. This is where posture becomes the key. Posture is not just what a person says they believe. Posture reveals what they think the Father is doing. If I see the Father as an angry master, I will hide from the pruning. If I see the Father as unstable, I will defend myself from correction. If I see the Father as transactional, I will try to buy his approval with fruit. But if I know him as a Father, I can begin to trust his hand even when I do not understand the cut. Fear was not given by the Father. Fear was stolen. Trust is given. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. The serpent introduced fear by introducing suspicion. He made mankind question the Father's heart. He made the child wonder if the Father was withholding something good. That suspicion changed mankind's posture before the fruit was ever eaten outwardly. Before the fall was in action, it was a posture. The serpent bent the heart away from the trust. So salvation is not merely forgiveness on paper. It is the Father restoring the posture of the child. It is the Son revealing the Father truly. It is the Spirit bearing witness inside us that we are not slaves trying to survive a master. We are sons being brought home. Romans 8, 14 through 15. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. That is the reversal of Eden's fear. In the garden, fear made Adam hide. In Christ, the Spirit makes the Son cry, Abba, Father. The Father's pruning is part of that restoration. He cuts away false identity. He removes the fig leaves. He exposes the hiding places. He teaches us to stop calling the flesh me. The Father does not ask the branch to prune itself. He asks the branch to abide. But when he prunes, he also teaches us to recognize what he is removing, so we stop mistaking corruption for identity. The pruning is the preparation. The Father is preparing us to carry what only abiding can produce. The flesh says, this anger is me. The Father says, no, that is what I am removing. The flesh says, this fear is me. The Father says, no, that is what was planted by suspicion. The flesh says, this lust, pride, envy, accusation, control, and self-protection is who I am. The Father says, no, that is not the child I breathed into being. That is the corruption I am pruning away. Galatians 5, 23 through 24. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. Notice Paul does not call it the fruit of human effort. He calls it the fruit of the Spirit. Love is fruit, peace is fruit, gentleness is fruit, faith is fruit, self-control is fruit. Fruit reveals the root. This is why Jesus said in Matthew 7, 17 through 18, even so every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. The flesh cannot produce the fruit of the Spirit. It can imitate behavior for a season, but it cannot produce the Father's life. Under pressure, imitation breaks. The branch must abide in the vine. So part 4 is not about trying harder. It is about finally seeing the order clearly. The Father is the gardener. Christ is the vine. The Spirit produces the fruit. The branch abides. The flesh is pruned. The Son learns to trust the Father's hand. And that is why pruning feels painful, but it is actually mercy. The Father is not cutting away the true child. He is cutting away what was hidden, what has hidden the child. This connects back to Eden. Adam and Eve were naked and not ashamed, because there was no false covering. After the fall, mankind became clothed in fear, suspicion, self-rule, accusation, and shame. The Father's work in Christ is not to decorate those coverings. It is to remove them. He does not redeem the fig leaves. He removes them. He does not perfect the flesh. He condemns sin in the flesh. Romans 8, 3 through 4. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. That is the finished work. God did not condemn humanity in Christ. He condemned sin in the flesh. He judged the corruption that held mankind captive. He exposed the false identity. He dealt with the serpent's work at the root. This is why the Father's pruning is consistent with the cross. The cross is not the Father rejecting his children. The cross is the Father through the Son destroying what was destroying his children. The Father is a gardener, not because he likes cutting, but because he loves fruitfulness. And fruitfulness is not religious productivity. It is the life of Christ becoming visible in the branch. John 15:8-9 says, "Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit, so shall ye be my disciples. As the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love." Continue ye in my love. That is abiding language again. The branch remains in love. The Son remains in trust. The heart remains turned towards the Father. And as the Father removes what does not belong, the true life becomes visible. This is where the bondage of choice ends. The flesh thinks freedom means endless self-determination. But that kind of choice becomes slavery, because the burden of being your own source is too heavy. You have to define yourself, defend yourself, cover yourself, justify yourself, save yourself, and then blame someone else when the fruit is rotten. But sonship is different. A son does not have to become his own father. A branch does not have to become its own vine. A garden does not have to cultivate itself. The father does not set the child free by making the child independent from him. He sets the child free by restoring union. That is why Jesus says in John 8:36, "If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed." Only the Son makes free, but even this freedom is not discovered by the flesh. Only the Father, through the Son, can reveal the true freedom we have in Christ. The flesh cannot reveal freedom because the flesh only understands independence. It thinks freedom means I can do whatever I want. But Christ reveals a freedom deeper than choice. Freedom from fear, freedom from hiding, freedom from false identity, freedom from self-salvation, freedom from the burden of being your own source, freedom to abide, freedom to know the Father as Father. And this freedom is only known by abiding. Because if I leave the vine in order to prove I am free, I have returned to bondage. If I leave the Father's hand in order to protect myself from pruning, I have returned to fear. If I use choice to separate myself from union, then my choice has become another prison. True freedom is not the branch escaping the vine. True freedom is the branch finally living from the vine without fear. The Son makes us free by bringing us into the life He has with the Father. And the Father reveals that freedom through the Son because the Son is the perfect image of the Father's heart. So when Christ says, "If the Son therefore shall make you free," He is not announcing fleshly independence. He is announcing restored sonship. Free indeed means free in union, free in love, free in truth, free in the Father's house, free in the Son's life, free by the Spirit of adoption, free to abide without fear. This is why abiding is not weakness. Abiding is the posture of true freedom. The branch that abides is not trapped. It is alive. The son who trusts the Father is not enslaved. He is home. The heart that remains in Christ is not losing itself. It is finally being revealed. That is the conclusion of chapter 20. Mankind began naked and unashamed, held in the life and the trust of the Father. The serpent introduced suspicion. Suspicion produced fear. Fear produced hiding. Hiding produced self-covering. Self-covering became the bondage of choice. And into the whole broken system, Christ comes as the true vine, revealing the Father as the true gardener. He does not tell the branch, "Fix yourself and then come back." He says, "Abide in me." He does not tell the child, "Prune yourself until you are worthy." He says, "Continue ye in my love." And the Father, with perfect wisdom, perfect mercy, and perfect authority, removes everything that never belonged to the child in the first place. The pruning is the preparation. The Father is preparing the branch for fruit. He is preparing the Son for freedom. He is preparing the heart to live uncovered again, not in shame, but in trust. That is why the final posture is trust. Not trust in the flesh, not trust in our choices, not trust in religious self-improvement, trust in the Father's hand. Because the Father knows what He planted. He knows what is fruit and what is corruption. He knows what is branch and what is dead weight. He knows what is sonship and what is serpent residue. He knows what must remain and what must be removed. The branch may not understand every cut, but the branch can trust the gardener, because the gardener is the Father, and the Father is not trying to destroy His children. He is preparing them. He is freeing them. He is revealing them.